Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I want to talk about the potential trade candidates for the Phoenix Suns, according to my colleague Michael Scotto. Link in the description to the latest report. We'll be discussing Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen. It seems Cody Martin as well is on there. And I believe I mentioned everybody. Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Cody Martin. Now, Vasilije Micic, it seems like they're going to be declining the option. But basically, shout out John Gambadoro for a lot of this information, who then Hoops Hype, Michael Scotto, confirmed after obviously trading for Kevin Durant and Jalen Green, the number 10 overall pick, and Dillon Brooks and 5 second rounders being the compensation. They are allegedly going to keep Green. Gambadoro said that, and then Michael Scotto confirmed it after reportedly or previously reporting that Phoenix was actually looking around the league to gauge the value of Jalen Green to flip him, but they want to keep him. They're also going to keep Dillon Brooks, who's a good culture setter and 3-and-D swing man who can play the 2 and the 3, maybe even some small ball 4. They are trying to get an upgrade at center. They do like Nick Richards, who non-guaranteed $5 million contract is expected to be guaranteed. He started 34 of 36 games for Phoenix last year, averaging 9.5 points on 60.5% shooting from the field, 8.6 rebounds, and just under 23 minutes a night. As we mentioned, Vasilije Micic and Cody Martin, 2 guys that are expected to be moved to get below the second apron. Micic has the option. Cody Martin is an expiring. Phoenix, as I mentioned, is going to decline that 8.1 team option, barring a trade that would necessitate his salary being included. The 2-time EuroLeague champion and former EuroLeague MVP already has multiple lucrative offers overseas. I believe Red Star is one of them. I just mentioned Cody Martin's on a $8.68 million salary that is non-guaranteed, and he could actually be waived unless his salary is included in a trade. Now, Royce O'Neal, Grayson, and Allen are being gauged on the trade market. Not saying that they're going to be traded, but they could be. I think Royce O'Neal's closer to starting to regress, while Grayson Allen is someone that I think is still solid and I would keep around. He's owed $35 million of the next 2 seasons. He's still a 40% three-point shooter who can guard 1 through 3. While Royce O'Neal, he was always kind of a tweener who did shoot 40.6% from 3, and he's owed $32.6 million over the next 3 seasons. However, I think he's someone that, with everything that's going on, it might be time to move him instead of Grayson Allen if you had to choose one. So Martin, Allen, and O'Neal are potentially being traded. We could also throw in Micic in there. So what are some deals around the league that could potentially make sense? We're here in the trade machine. Shout out Fanspo for this. Now, of course, if we go over to the Phoenix Suns, I think Phoenix is a team that, big man, who's available? Allegedly, Daniel Gafford for the right price could be available. And I think this is where Dallas might actually want to go into free agency and make some upgrades, or they could take on a Royce O'Neal that might interest them. So what does that mean? Well, I think for me, if you can send to the Mavs Royce O'Neal, they'll take Daniel Gafford, and to get this deal off, you can literally send Cody Martin to the, because he has a non-guaranteed, they would then cut him and get the cap space. Royce O'Neal gives them another forward to help them out. They really like to have these multitude of forwards, and this would also allow them probably to move off of PJ Washington eventually. And maybe compensation, they throw several second rounders. I don't think they're going to get first. Tell me what you think, but this would then give you a big man. And right here, it's saying that to do this deal, okay, because technically, I guess like they haven't adjusted this for the, no, they have already added the Jalen Green, and we are technically aggregating players, but I believe we're outgoing, incoming. Yeah, we're not aggregating. We're taking, oh, we have more money. That's why it won't work. So I forgot right here. You can't do this due to the aggregation. My apology right there. And this is where I guess it's going to be tough to trade for, as I said, somebody, because you can only aggregate to get below the apron. And right here, you would be, yes, in theory, like if I just showed you, if we traded outgoing 18.8 and Daniel Gafford is making 14.3, I believe hypothetically this deal should actually work. My apology. because we are saving $4 million on the apron, but it doesn't get us below the second apron. So that's why it actually can't work. So to do this, they actually would have to probably include either a Vasilije Micic, who then his contract becomes guaranteed. And I doubt a team like the Mavericks would take a Vasilije Micic. Maybe they want him to be their backup point guard. In this case, it's not enough to get you under the second apron, I believe, because in this deal, or is it able now to, because you can cut. So you'd have to get a third team in to get this deal done, which would probably be a team like the Nets. So you take Vasilije Micic off of this. Sorry for making this so long-winded and just piecing this together as we go. And in this case, we'll send the Suns, but they can't actually take anybody because unless it's a minimum contract, because a minimum contract doesn't count against the cap. So that would have to be like in this example, I believe a Drew Timme would technically not count against the cap. But either way, we would be getting too extravagant with this. This is the way the deal would have to work, because this actually gets them under the second apron by $869,000. You dump Vasilije Micic, who gets bought out by the Brooklyn Nets. Cody Martin, Royce O'Neal go to the Mavs, and they get themselves their center in Daniel Gafford. That actually makes sense, and that's actually a decent deal. You probably have to compensate, obviously, the Brooklyn Nets, and then you could also expand this further, because then Caleb or Cody Martin could be someone who we already said is going to get bought out, and because they already have his brother, or they can keep him. But that's just one idea. Like, I don't think anything like this is set in stone. Now, could they be looking at somebody in Milwaukee or Washington? I think there's guys that could help them. I think there's guys that other teams might have interest in, which, if true, could help them out. Now, Marcus Smart would be someone that I would love to see. So this is where it gets complicated if you were trying to get a Smart, because, again, you would have to get over $34 million paired together, and that becomes hard and probably involves a Grayson Allen in this case. So right there, we'd be $81,000 just over the second apron. So we couldn't even do this deal right there without trading somebody else, which in this case would be Royce O'Neal, and you would try to find another team. And this would be to get yourself a point guard in Mr. Marcus Smart without doing the Daniel Gafford deal. And if you're looking for a backup big man across the league, who's a backup big man? And somebody or a team that could have interest and they're going all in, and maybe they go into free agency and they look for somebody else. But if they can pry a Goga, you send them Royce O'Neal, this deal could work, because there you go. You get Marcus Smart, who's a point guard. You get who's this combo guard who has point guard like skills. Grayson Allen, Cody Martin, and Vasilije Micic go to the Wizards. They can buy out Micic, cut Martin, and both of the guys. Martin's on a non-guaranteed. Micic, it's just an expiring. Royce O'Neal actually helps the shooting and the play style that the Magic need. Yes, they like big players, but they move the Wizards move off of Smart. You can put in whatever draft pick compensation you want, but like, this isn't terrible.